It was a crisp October weekend, and I decided to escape the daily grind by retreating to my cabin in the woods. Nestled near the edge of a dense forest, the cabin promised solitude and tranquility. I brought along my trusty companion, a brave German shepherd named Max, hoping to enjoy the serene beauty of the autumn woods. The first day at the cabin was perfect. The air was filled with the earthy scent of fallen leaves, and the distant sound of rustling leaves provided a soothing soundtrack. Max, always eager for an adventure, wagged his tail as we embarked on a stroll to a nearby lake. The path to the lake went through the silent woods, the trees standing tall and proud, adorned with shades of red and gold. Max trotted beside me, his ears perked up in curiosity. I felt a sense of peace, the kind that only nature can provide. As we reached the lake, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the water. I decided to sit by the shore, taking in the beauty of the changing colors. Max, being the obedient companion he was, roamed freely without a leash, staying close and listening to my commands. The peace, however, was shattered as the sun began to set. Max, usually calm and collected, started barking furiously at the woods. It was an unusual behavior for him. "Max, calm down," I called, expecting him to listen as always. But he persisted, barking at something hidden amidst the trees. The echoes of Max's barks seemed to linger in the stillness of the woods, an unease settling over the peacefulness. "Max, enough!" I commanded sternly, but his barks continued. Something wasn't right. Eventually, the barking ceased, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. Max, however, appeared anxious and scared, a demeanor I had never witnessed in him before. Confused and concerned, I gathered my things, leashed Max, and hurried back to the cabin. That night, as darkness draped the woods in shadows, an unsettling feeling lingered. I sat by the cabin window, a dim lamp casting a feeble glow in the room. Max, lying at my feet, suddenly sprang up, his ears pointing to the sky, and a low growl escaping his throat. I peered out into the darkness, trying to discern the cause of Max's unease. The forest stood still, a canvas of black and navy. Then I caught a glimpse of movement, a shadowy figure behind the trees. My heart quickened, and a chill ran down my spine. "Who's there?" I called out into the night, my voice barely louder than a whisper. No response. Only the rustling of leaves and the chilly wind. Max continued to growl, his eyes fixed on the unseen intruder. Fear clawed at me, but I needed to know. I retrieved my hunting rifle, its weight reassuring in my hands. Slowly, cautiously, I stepped outside, the night air biting at my skin. Max, by my side, stood alert, his gaze locked on the mysterious figure. I aimed the rifle skyward and pulled the trigger, the gunshot tearing through the stillness of the night. The sound echoed through the woods, a warning to whoever lurked in the shadows. In that moment, I felt a strange mix of relief and fear. What had Max sensed? Who was the tall, silent figure in the dark? The night passed, uneasy and sleepless. Max remained vigilant, his ears twitching at the slightest sound. As dawn broke, I made a decision. I couldn't stay in that cabin with the unknown lurking in the woods. I packed hastily, my mind replaying the events of the night. Who was that man, and what had he wanted? The idea of an intruder, a silent follower, made my skin crawl. I couldn't shake off the feeling that I had narrowly escaped something ominous. With Max by my side, we left the cabin behind, the peaceful retreat tainted by the events of that October night. The woods, once a source of solace, now felt like a realm of hidden dangers. I couldn't help but glance over my shoulder, half expecting to see the tall figure emerge from the shadows. Driving away from the cabin, I couldn't shake off the questions that haunted my thoughts. Who was that man, and what could have happened if I hadn't been armed? The uncertainty lingered, a chilling reminder that even in the quiet beauty of nature, darkness could hide in unexpected corners. As the cabin disappeared from view, I couldn't help but wonder if, somewhere in the depths of those woods, the tall man still watched, his intentions unknown. The October sun cast long shadows on the road ahead, and I drove away, leaving behind a weekend that had turned from a retreat into a brush with the unknown. It was October, and the air carried a chill that only added to the anticipation of the yearly carnival. My girlfriend Emma and I had made it a tradition to attend every year. The carnival was a kaleidoscope of lights, laughter, and the smell of sweet treats. This year, however, it would take a turn that neither of us expected. As we strolled through the carnival grounds, we came across a tent that stood slightly apart from the others. It had an air of mystery, and a faded sign proclaimed it as Madame Zara's Mystical Predictions. Intrigued, we decided to give it a shot. The inside of the tent was dimly lit, and the air was heavy with the scent of incense. Madame Zara, an elderly woman with piercing eyes, welcomed us. Emma went first. As Madame Zara peered into her crystal ball, I dismissed it as a bit of carnival fun. However, a subtle unease crossed Emma's face as Madame Zara spoke of uncertainties in her future. I was next, and as Madame Zara locked eyes with me, the atmosphere shifted. She spoke in a somber tone, weaving a tale of shadows in the moonlight and secrets of an October night. It was weirdly unsettling, but I chalked it up to showmanship. As the night unfolded, everything Madame Zara predicted for Emma came true. We won games we didn't think we would, stumbled upon a forgotten friend in the crowd, and even got caught in an unexpected downpour, just as she foretold. The unease I felt earlier turned into genuine concern. As the clock neared midnight, we decided to seek out Madame Zara again. But to our surprise, the tent had vanished, leaving behind only an empty space. Puzzled, we approached the carnival staff and inquired about Madame Zara's whereabouts. They looked at us like we were telling a ghost story. "No fortune teller in this carnival, buddy," one of the staff members said with a dismissive smirk. Confused, we insisted we had been inside the tent, spoken to Madame Zara, and that everything she predicted had come true. The staff exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of amusement and suspicion. "Look, we've been running this carnival for years, and we never had a fortune teller." "You sure you got the right place?" the staff member replied, clearly not buying our story. Emma and I exchanged bewildered glances. We were certain of Madame Zara's tent's existence, but the staff treated us like we were spinning a web of lies. Feeling defeated, we decided to enjoy the rest of the carnival and forget about the mysterious fortune teller. As the night wore on, the unsettling feeling lingered. The once vibrant lights of the carnival now felt like they were casting shadows, and the joyous laughter seemed distant. We tried to shake off the unease, indulging in games and treats, but the specter of Madame Zara's predictions haunted us. As we approached the exit, I couldn't help but glance back at the empty space where Madame Zara's tent should have been. With an eerie vibe in the air, I felt like we had stumbled upon something beyond our understanding, something that defied the logic of the usual carnival's festive atmosphere. In the days that followed, the memories of that October night weighed on us. The predictions that had come true left us questioning the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. Were we caught in the web of some inexplicable force, or had it all been an elaborate illusion? As we tried to make sense of our experience, the October night had brought not just the annual festivities but an encounter with the unknown that would linger in our minds for years to come.